Welcome students. Today I am going to discuss on frequency domain analysis. So this video session mainly focus on the main outline of this session is introduction of frequency domain and basic concept and correlation between the time domain and frequency domain. And third one is frequency domain analysis and frequency domain specification. And finally we will solve some problems. So frequency domain. For a linear time invariant system, the Laplace transform of the input and output are related to each other by the transfer function T of S. So where the R of S is the input and C of S is the output. So this is in Laplace domain. So in the frequency domain, the frequency response analysis is nothing but the system is excited by a sinusoidal input of fixed amplitude and varying frequency. So the frequency response of a system can be defined as the steady state response of the system to a sinusoidal input. Whereas in the time domain, we have given some standard input signals such as step, ramp, parabolic, impulse signal. Whereas in a frequency response system, we will give sinusoidal input signal. So here R of t is the reference input or sine omega t, and the output will be y of t, y sine of omega t plus theta or phi. So when you compare the time domain and frequency domain, here the input output frequency will be same, whereas the output differs from inputs with respect to magnitude or amplitude and phase angle. So let us subject a stable LTI system to a sinusoidal input of amplitude R and frequency omega in time domain. So R of t equal to R sine of omega t. The steady state output of the system will be again a sinusoidal signal of the same frequency, but probably with a different amplitude and phase. That is C of t equal to C sine of omega t plus pi. In the amplitude and phase of the output can be also written as C equal to R, that is a magnitude of transfer function T of j omega, and phi as transfer function of particular system. So to carry out the same process in the frequency domain for a sinusoidal steady state analysis, one can replace the Laplace variable S with j omega. So in the input output relation, that is transfer function T of S, C of S is equal to T of S into R of S. So with the result replacing S with j omega, so we'll get C of j omega equal to T of j omega and R of j omega. The input, output and the transfer function have now become complex, and thus it can be represented by their magnitude and phases. So we will be operating in a complex domain. So we should know some basic complex number and and its representation in magnitude and phase angle form. Let us consider a complex number Z is equal to A plus BJ in the rectangular format. So the magnitude of this complex number can be written as square root of A square plus B square, that is real part square plus imaginary part square. The phase angle can be written as Z equal to, that is angle Z equal to tan inverse of B divided by A. Suppose if it is 1 by A plus Bj, then the phase angle will become minus tan inverse of B by A. That is the difference between these two complex number. Let us take a simple system, that is x plus 2x equal to y of t. So the transfer function for this expression is T of S is equal to x of S divided by y of S, which can be written as 1 divided by S into S plus 2. And replacing S with j omega, you will get T of j omega equal to 1 divided by j omega into j omega plus 2. So this can be simplified, and finally you can get the transfer function at omega equal to 0.5, which is equal to 1 divided by minus 0.25 plus j. And for this problem, modifying or simplifying this expression, you will get T of 0.5, that is omega equal to 0.5. You will get the transfer function as minus 0.235 minus 0.941 j. So we can take the magnitude and angle for this transfer function. So square root of real part square plus imagined part square, which is equal to 0.97. And the angle is tan inverse of imaginary part divided by real part, which is equal to minus 104 degree. So in this way, if you are given a transfer function, first you replace S with a j omega, then you find out the transfer function rectangular format, and finally you can represent it magnitude and phase angle format. Let us consider a generalized equation for a closed loop transfer function of a linear time invariant system as y of s, that is c of s divided by r of s, is equal to g of s divided by 1 plus g of s h of s. So where g of s is the forward path gain, h of s is the feedback path gain. So replacing s with j omega, you will get g of j omega divided by 1 plus g of j omega h of j omega. So the magnitude can be written as the magnitude of g of j omega, absolute value of g of j omega divided by 1 plus g of j omega h of j omega. And the phase angle can be written as g of j omega minus angle of 1 plus g of j omega h of j omega. So this is a generalized expression for the magnitude and phase angle of a closed loop transfer function. Now let us consider a second order system. For that, the frequency response can be obtained. So the closed loop transfer function of a standard second order equation is omega n square divided by s square plus 2 delta omega ns plus omega n square. So replacing s with j omega, so this can be written as omega n square divided by j omega square plus 2 delta omega n of j omega plus omega n square. So this expression can be further simplified, replacing this u with some, we can assign as omega divided by omega n. So we can write this expression as 1 divided by 1 plus j 2 del u minus u square. That is omega, you can divide this expression by omega n in the numerator and denominator. So finally you will get the transfer function as 1 divided by 1 plus j 2 del u minus u square. So here u is the normalized frequency, which is equal to omega divided by omega n. Del is the damping factor. So the magnitude of this transfer function can be written as 1 divided by square root of 1 minus u square whole square plus 2 del u whole square. The phase angle can be written as minus tan inverse of 2 del u divided by 1 minus u square. So we have considered a second order system in the time domain, and we have obtained the final transfer function in the frequency domain. This will give the a relation between the time domain and the frequency domain. So for the magnitude and phase angle of a second order system, if you draw the plot, the characteristics will be like this. So the y-axis is the magnitude and the x-axis is the omega, that is frequency. So you can vary the frequency from 0 to infinity. So the magnitude initially start at 0.707 and reaches some first maximum value, then finally and reduces and drastically reduces to 0. So here at one point it reaches maximum, that is called the peak. that is also called resonant peak. The corresponding frequency is called resonant frequency. And there is one more factor. So at 1 by root 2 times of the magnitude, you will get some magnitude. At this, the corresponding frequency is called bandwidth. And this is the phase angle curve. So you can use the phase angle expression. You can vary the omega from 0 to infinity. So you will get a phase angle curve like this. Okay. And from this curve, we can define some frequency domain specification as resonant peak MR, resonant frequency omega R, and bandwidth omega B. So this gives a clear picture of the magnitude and phase angle characteristics of closed loop system. So these are the frequency domain specification: resonant peak, resonant frequency, bandwidth, and cutoff rate. Let us discuss each and every specification in detail. First, we derive the frequency domain specifications. So suppose I want to get resonant peak or resonant frequency. Now to get the resonant peak, so you differentiate the magnitude expression with respect to u. So you can simplifying the equation, you will get resonant frequency is equal to square root of 1 minus del square. And substituting this resonant frequency in the magnitude equation, you will get resonant peak as 1 by 2 delta square root of 1 minus del square, where omega is equal to omega n square root of 1 minus 2 del square. So for bandwidth, the magnitude is 0.707 or 1 by root 2. Substituting in this, you will get the corresponding frequency, which is called as the bandwidth. This can be finally obtained, derived as omega n square root of 1 minus 2 del square plus or minus square root of 4 del power 4 minus 4 del square plus 2. So this expression can be used to find out the frequency domain specifications. Sometimes you may be asked a problem based on this time domain specifications. Let us discuss each frequency domain specification detail. So first specification is resonant peak. So this is the maximum value of the transfer function magnitude of the closed loop transfer function T of j omega. So mainly the resonant peak depends on the damping ratio of and indicate the relative stability of a stable closed loop system. A large resonant peak results in a large overshoot of the step response. So as a rule of thumb, the resonant peak should be in between the value of 1.1 to 1.5. So the resonant peak can be written as 1 by 2 delta square root of 1 minus del square. Resonant frequency. So this is the frequency at which the resonant peak occurs. So here you can see resonant peak and corresponding frequency. This expression for this is omega r is equal to omega n square root of 1 minus 2 del square. So the resonant frequency is different than both the undamped and damped natural frequency. The next parameter is bandwidth. This is the frequency at which the magnitude of the frequency response function, which stops to 0.707 of its zero frequency value. So we have assigned some magnitude beyond which you have to work out that magnitude of acceptable value. If you increase the frequency beyond the bandwidth frequency, the magnitude of the system will drastically reduces, right? So bandwidth is directly proportional to omega n and gives an indication of transient response characteristics of a control system. The larger the bandwidth is, the faster the system response. So the expression for bandwidth can be written as omega n square root of 1 minus 2 del square plus square root of 4 del power 4 minus 4 del square plus 2. Then one more frequency domain specification is the slope cutoff rate. This is the slope of magnitude of the frequency response at higher frequencies. Here you can see for the magnitude curve, you take the tangential. From this, you can obtain the cutoff rate, right? So it indicates the ability of system to distinguish signals from noise. Two systems having the same bandwidth can have different cutoff rates. Apart from these two, so we have two more frequency domain specification, that is phase margin and gain margin. These two margins indicate the stability of the system, stability margin of the system, that we will discuss in detail while drawing the plots on frequency domain analysis. So with this sessions, I conclude.